Reality you've always known is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion, designed by cosmic rulers who thrive on keeping you imprisoned. In today's video, we're pulling back the veil on the mysterious archons, ancient, malevolent entities believed to have manipulated humanity from the shadows for millennia. But beware, what you discover might just be the key to breaking free from their insidious grip on your life. The term archon comes from the Greek word archon, meaning ruler or lord. Gnostics believed that the material world was created not by a benevolent god, but by a lower, flawed deity known as the demiurge. The archons were his servants, powerful entities who acted as wardens of the physical world, keeping human souls trapped in a cycle of ignorance and suffering. The Gnostics saw the archons as rulers of the lower planes of existence, entities that govern the material world and hinder the soul's journey towards divine knowledge. According to these teachings, the archons are not divine beings, but are instead the product of a cosmic error, part of the flawed creation of the demiurge. In Gnostic cosmology, the universe is divided into several layers or realms. The highest realm is the pleroma, the fullness of the divine, where the true God resides.
Lucifer and Jesus, are they actually the same? Lucifer's nickname is the bright morning star. In Revelation 22:16, Christ says, "I am the bright morning star." Lucifer is known as the bearer and bringer of light. John 8:12, Christ says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me shall have the light of life." So Christ is a self-proclaimed light bearer. Lucifer's crime, according to mainstream Christianity, is that he declared that humans could be like God. John 10:34, Christ says, "Is it not written in your law, I've said ye are gods?" I mean, that sounds like the exact same thing to me. The early Christian Gnostics identified the serpent as Lucifer, the bringer of the knowledge of good and evil. In the New Testament, Christ is the bringer of the knowledge of love and morality, which is the knowledge of good and evil. So what are your thoughts? When we compare Lucifer and Christ side by side and look at their attributions, are they one and the same?
This secret ancient text reveals the process behind manifestation. The ancient text, known as the Lost Gospel of Thomas, was discovered in Egypt in 1945 and is thought to have been left out of the traditional Bible centuries ago. This mysterious text unveils the hidden teachings of Jesus, which were the source of his remarkable powers. The core of manifestation can be captured in a quote attributed to Jesus within this lost gospel. "When you make the two one, you will say, 'Mountain, move away,' and the mountain will move away." The secret wisdom lies within the phrase, "when you make the two one." What does it truly mean? This insightful statement conveys that once you successfully merge your thoughts and emotions into a single, powerful force, you gain the ability to manifest anything you desire. Your thoughts provide the intention, while your emotions create the feeling of already experiencing the intended outcome. This harmonious combination is the genuine secret behind the art of manifestation.
So why would they take this book out of the Bible? Because early Christianity was actually not influenced by the Roman Catholic Church. The way that it looked before they came in was very similar to spirituality. Jesus was actually a spiritual teacher rather than a religious prophet. And the sayings in the Lost Gospel of Thomas support this. Jesus said, "If your leaders say to you, 'The kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds will precede you. If they say to you, 'The kingdom is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you. And if you come to know yourself, you will learn that you are the sons of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are this poverty." So this basically means that the kingdom of heaven is not a physical place, rather than a state of being that can be achieved through emotional, spiritual enlightenment and mastery. True gospel that Jesus spoke can be found in the Lost Gospel of Thomas. There's over 114 secret Jesus sayings. If I was a Christian, I would want to know what Jesus really was rather than the watered down version that they remixed and gave to me to control me. What was Jesus like before Roman Catholic influence? If you really are a person that values enlightenment, you should look into this. It's pretty fascinating.
The Book of Enoch discusses fallen watchers, human women, and bloodthirsty giants. It is an ancient book with 5 separate parts by different authors, plus segments from the Book of Noah thrown in. Nobody knows who wrote this book. The authorship is unclear, and it is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, but it was not written by him. Enoch is considered a legendary figure, and the attribution to him is part of the pseudepigrapha, meaning the true authors used his name to give an aura of ancient wisdom and authority. The Book of Enoch was most likely written by multiple authors over several centuries, with estimates ranging from 3rd century BC to 1st century AD during the Second Temple period in Jewish history. The Book of Enoch is divided into 5 parts. The Book of the Watchers, where fallen angels marry human women and produce offspring called the Nephilim. The Book of Parables, where divine judgment is discussed and the Son of Man is introduced, a figure who will judge the wicked. The Book of Dream Visions, the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, and the Epistle of Enoch. The Infancy Gospel of Thomas is a loose collection of childhood stories about Jesus. It fills in gaps in the Gospels of the New Testament, which mostly skip over the growing up years of Jesus. In the New Testament, only the Gospel of Luke includes a childhood story, featuring the 12-year-old Jesus and his parents. Though the Infancy Gospel of Thomas has been dismissed by some scholars as crude and sensational, recent work on the text may signal a turning of the tide. More scholars than ever take it seriously, not as a source for what actually happened in Jesus' youth, but as a witness to what some early Christians wondered about. It is, in other words, a family drama. How do Mary and Joseph take up the task of raising such an unusual child? Do they understand him? Does he understand them? Scholars generally assign the Infancy Gospel of Thomas a late 2nd or early 3rd century date. The original language is Greek. The Psalms of Solomon is a collection of 18 psalms written around 60 BC during the Roman invasion of Israel. King Solomon died hundreds of years before these psalms were published, so it's unclear to scholars why this collection of psalms is named after him. Solomon wrote Psalm 72 in the Bible, and the Psalms of Solomon share a similar theme with that chapter, so perhaps they were named after Solomon because it was his writing that inspired the writer of the Psalms of Solomon. While not considered inspired scripture, the Psalms of Solomon are historically significant as they were likely used in worship, much like modern hymns. They also mark the first recorded use of the term Son of David for the Messiah. The Book of Adam and Eve, also called The Conflict of Adam and Eve with Satan, recounts the story of Adam and Eve after their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. It is part of the pseudepigrapha and not considered inspired scripture. The book is believed to have been written by an unknown Egyptian author in Arabic, later translated into Ethiopic. It is thought to have been written a few hundred years before Christ, with the first English translation in the 19th century. There are 2 books that constitute the Book of Adam and Eve. Book 1 follows Adam and Eve upon their exit from Eden and their subsequent temptations from Satan. According to the Book of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel both had twin sisters. Cain fell in love with his own twin, Luluwa, but his parents wanted him to marry Abel's twin, Achliah, and that's why Cain murdered his brother. Book 2 of the Book of Adam and Eve relates the pre-flood history of Seth and Cain's warring families. The book contains fictional and fantastical tales, like how the earth rejected Abel's body and how Adam and Eve kept his body in their cave for 7 years. It also includes contradictions of biblical accounts, such as both Cain and Abel bringing sacrifices of blood and grain. The Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs is a pseudepigraphal work that claims to be the final words of Jacob's 12 sons, though scholars believe it was written during the intertestamental period and later edited by Christians. Each patriarch offers reflections on their own sins and virtues, urging future generations to live morally. Reuben warns against lust, Simeon repents for his jealousy, and Levi speaks of the dangers of pride. Judah, Dan, and Gad emphasize the need to avoid drunkenness, anger, and hatred, while Issachar and Zebulun encourage simplicity and charity. Joseph and Benjamin focus on purity, especially in resisting temptation, with Joseph being held up as an example of chastity. Though not part of the Bible, the Testaments offer insight into Judeo-Christian ethics of the time.